Hi everyone, my name is Charlie and today I'm going to be reviewing Public Library and Other Stories by Ali Smith. There is a story I wish to tell regarding libraries. For as long as I can remember, I have been a member of libraries. Having always had little or no money, the library was a place where this didn't matter. I would take out books all the time as a child. Each Saturday, my mother would pack my brother or sister into the pram and we would go uptown and go to the library. I do not remember any of the books from this time, but I do remember how being allowed to rent a DVD was a treat and library book sales were a godsend. I remember at 7 years old deciding that I was now an adult and the librarian requesting my mum's permission for me to be allowed to borrow Witches Abroad by Terry Pratchett. Now, I never read the book because I had a nightmare and it scared me off that book entirely and I still haven't read it. Since my childhood, libraries have continued to provide a sanctuary. I helped at the school library and when I couldn't afford books for uni, I took them out of the public library. Got very large fines trying to keep my course books and not being able to renew them because I'd had them too long but couldn't get to the library to I should say I still have them, they're here. But I paid that off now. No more overdue fees. And the library is where I joined the Macclesfield Creative Writing Group and that in turn inspired my book Our Doris. Without libraries and the librarians who run them, my book would not have reached as many people. Librarians are gatekeepers, they are counsellors, and they ask bloody good questions during Q&As. Without libraries and without librarians, I would not have had the opportunities that I have had. And I think that says a lot. Without libraries, I have no money at the moment, so I would not have been able to afford Public Library and Other Stories by Ali Smith. And I wanted to read this ever since I've seen people reviewing it on YouTube. And I went into the library and I was just going across new releases and there it was, top right hand corner. And I took it home and I was reading The Bloody Chamber on Thursday, so I couldn't start this book until Friday. And I continued to read it on Saturday and I finished it on Sunday evening and there was a lump in my throat. And this book, just an amazing collection of short stories about words and books and the power of words and how words change and how words have different meanings, and it's about life and it's about death and it's how they can all be connected, they can all be found in books. And those stories the authors had written and librarians had written about public libraries, they were like small snapshots of the author's life as well. And I've read The Beholder 4 times now. I keep reading it because it's probably the best short story I have ever read. I don't think there is anything I can say to recommend this book more. I haven't given it a starred review on Goodreads because I don't know how to rate it. To be honest, I don't know how to rate any books with star ratings, and it might be something that stops because I'm not very good at it, but this book is brilliant and I don't know what I can say more about it. I would love for everyone to read this collection of stories because I sometimes question whether people have forgotten just what libraries do for people, and I myself had forgotten about how it was a journey we'd make. It was something to look forward to on a Saturday when I was a child, and this book reminded me of that, and it reminded me of the power of books and the books that I have read that have stayed with me, and this has become one of them. And I, by far, the greatest short story collection I've read. Yeah, it was. I'm going to end it there. But I think it should be read should be reread. Lord knows I don't have to take this back to the library for another 2 weeks, so I could renew it. I could renew it and keep reading this book because there is just so much to be found, and it's the first time with short stories that I've actually mindfully thought about going back and unpicking threads and really spending time considering the stories. Usually I think myself, I see short stories as just, because the collection's quite short, just, oh, there you go, read it, get it out of the way, and not really thinking about the stories that are in there and thinking about the intent behind them. And this collection really, it asks you to stop and to think, and I think that that's the best thing that fiction can do, and I wholeheartedly recommend it more than any book that I've recommended this year. So that is Public Library and Other Stories by Ellie Smith, and until next time, that is all.